Okay, well, first of all, welcome to everybody and thanks for joining us tonight. Why are we here? Well, Copeland is a place of outstanding natural beauty. 2/3 of the borough is within the Lake District National Park, and we've got 90 kilometres of coastline and many protected natural habitats. We also know that we've got some real socio-economic challenges in Copeland, many of which have been highlighted by the global coronavirus pandemic. And if the response to the pandemic has shown us anything, it is this. First, that we've got to treat complex global issues with the seriousness that they deserve, otherwise we're all at risk. Second, that we can work together in new and different ways to protect our economy, communities and the environment, now and for the future. Throughout the pandemic, we saw the formation of partnerships between business, industry, the third sector and local government. We saw new, flexible delivery of public services and a renewed social commitment by businesses. We saw rapid innovation applied for the good of society, and most importantly, we saw the power of local people and communities. We believe that we must take this same approach to the climate crisis. With the same sense of urgency, we all have a responsibility to take collective and meaningful action to do the right thing. While this is a huge, complex global issue, it affects us all. So we believe that everyone should have a voice in the action we take in our homes, our communities and our businesses. In our 2040 vision for Copeland, we clearly set out the Council's commitment to making Copeland a place where people have a greater say, involvement and a role in deciding what happens and how change is delivered. We recognise that diversity, participation and collaboration strengthen our community, building trust between people and generating the new ideas and innovation that we need to overcome a challenge such as climate change. So the Copeland People's Panel on Climate Change is an incredibly important part of our approach. We want to hear what you think about climate change, and we need your help, your views and your support to shape our plans. You're meeting for the first time today, but this is the start of an important journey. And we hope that through this process, you'll learn from each other, we will learn from you, and that you'll enjoy being involved, and that this group will become a force for positive change in Copeland. At the end of the 10 meetings, you'll make recommendations on what action we need to take in our homes, businesses and the borough to respond to climate change. I would personally like to thank you all for investing your time, your effort and your insights into this initiative. And in return, I'd like to make the following commitments to you. One, that the process is balanced and unbiased. We, the Council, nor any other organisation has control or influence over the process, which is independently facilitated by Shared Futures. This is your process. You can choose the topics you hear about in the meetings, and you have the freedom to make any recommendations that you collectively agree on. Two, that your views will be heard. The Council will consider the recommendations made by this group, and all recommendations will be considered by our cross-party climate steering group, which is chaired by Councillor Andy Pratt. We will commit to providing a response that explains how we are taking the recommendations forward or any reasons why we can't do so. And three, we will support you. We're not alone and we can't do this alone. The People's Panel has the support of organisations across Copeland who recognise their role in driving change, and these organisations span community, charity, government, industry, business, academia, education, health, natural environment, transport and tourism. And Councillor Pratt will highlight how they have committed to supporting the panel's recommendations. In the fourth meeting, there'll be more opportunity to explore the Council's role and the wider role of government, of local government in driving change. Today, we are here to start the process, to meet each other and to set out our commitment to supporting the recommendations that you'll collectively make about what we need to do in Copeland to address climate change. It's up to the People Panel members to decide what topics you'd like to hear about in more detail over the course of the next 9 sessions. So please make any suggestions to Pete and Jane. We will of course support the panel by ensuring that you receive input from the right people on the topics that you choose. Thank you again for being leaders in making Copeland a sustainable place with thriving communities. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike. Andy, you okay?
I'm Andy Pratt, the Portfolio for Environment, Place and Inclusive Communities, and I chair the Copeland Cross-Party Steering Group, which oversees the Council efforts to address the climate crisis. Thanks for everybody taking part tonight and for the next 9 sessions. We really appreciate your time and input into this important issue. As the Mayor said, the Council has established a cross-party working steering group to oversee the action plan, which covers decarbonisation, natural environment, waste, and building the capacity to do more to fight climate change in the future. The final part of our plan is about empowering people, and that is what we hope the People's Panel on Climate Change will do. Empower you to tell us what we should do and how we should address climate change. Empower you to take action with your own lives at work and in your community. To support the People's Panel, we have a steering group known as the Oversight Panel, including representatives from organisations who are committed to supporting the process and the recommendations that you make. Members of the Oversight Panel include Cumbria Action in Communities, the Britain's Energy Coast Cluster, Copeland Borough Council, Copeland Calc representing town and parish councils, Copeland Tourism Programme, Cumbria Action for Sustainability, Cumbria County Council Local Committee, Home Group, NHS North Cumbria, the Nuclear Decommissioning Authority, Stagecoach, the trade unions, University of Cumbria Institute for Sustainable Leadership, West Cumbria and North Lakes Friends of the Earth, Whitehaven Academy and the Woodland Trust. The Council's Climate Steering Group will consider the People's Panel's recommendations in a meeting in October with the principle that any viable recommendation will be taken forward by the Council directly or by using our influence to ensure that they are taken forward by the appropriate partner organisations. We'll also provide response that sets out why any of the recommendations cannot be progressed at this time. As well as the Council's commitments, the other Oversight Panel members have stated their commitment to supporting the recommendations to the People Panel's process, including the following. Cumbria Action for Sustainability has committed to build recommendations into the development of project proposals for funding bids, reference the recommendations as evidence of public interest in climate change in the bids, reports and articles, draw the attention of local authorities and other organisations to the panel's findings in order to influence the development of strategies and plans, use their involvement in the Zero Carbon Cumbria Partnership to encourage organisations to support and implement recommendations. The Nuclear Decommissioning Authority Group, which includes Sellafield Limited, has identified that there are a mature social impact delivery mechanisms within the group, and its supply chains could be made available to support implementation of the panel's recommendations where appropriate. The Britain's Energy Coast Business Cluster Board, or Net Zero Group, will consider how they can support any of the panel's recommendations that relate to the business community. The recommendations will be taken to the Tourism Sector Development Programme Advisory Panel, which includes leading tourism organisations from across Copeland. Recognising that impacts of climate change and the results of our decisions will be inherited by the younger generation, we will be running a series of youth engagements alongside the People's Panel, which will feed into the process to ensure that our young people have a voice in what their future will look like. So as the Mayor said today, we are here to start the process, to meet each other and to set out our commitment to supporting the recommendations that you will collectively make about what we need to do in Copeland to address climate change. Thank you again and good luck. Enjoy your deliberations and we look forward to hearing your recommendations and working with you to develop and deliver our plans for the future. Thanks once again.
Thanks, Andy.